This is Tommy, a freshman in college. This is Tommy's family. Now that Tommy is going to school far away, he doesn't have time to see his parents or brothers nearly as much as he used to because he doesn't have a car. Fortunately, Tommy has a phone in his dorm room. Unfortunately, both Tommy and his parents are always busy and they are rarely able to both be in their respective homes at the same time. Therefore, they aren't able to talk very often. Tommy realized that part of the problem was that he was restricted to using his phone in his dorm room because it had a cord. His problem was really frustrating and gave Tommy an idea. What if his phone didn't have a cord and Tommy could bring his phone with him everywhere and use it whenever he wanted? A month later, after working night and day, Tommy had finally developed the first mobile phone. Tommy made a mobile phone for both him and his parents and found it extremely useful. He was much happier now that he was able to communicate with his family more often. Tommy's mobile phone became extremely popular, and so he decided to start a business, mass producing the phones to sell them to all of his friends. The rest is history. So what have we learned from Tommy's story? Tommy was just an average person with an average problem. However, Tommy's problem gave him an idea because he saw his problem as an opportunity. Tommy recognized the opportunity to create an attractive solution to a problem that many people had. From this we can see that problems lead to opportunities. Tommy was able to mass produce his mobile phone because there were many other people facing the same problem, and they found Tommy's solution agreeable. The people that Tommy sold his mobile phone to became his customers. Depending on what your product is or what service your business will offer, your customers may be different. Customers for one product will not necessarily be the same customers for a different or even similar product. The broad landscape of buyers looking to solve different types of problems is called the market. The market may potentially be broken into identifiable subgroups. Members of these subgroups share similar needs and tend to reference each other when considering what to buy. When developing a business model, it is important to define your customer so you can tailor your business model to that specific group of customers. Customers are often grouped into segments by common needs, behaviors, or other attributes, so that companies can better satisfy their needs. We will see some examples of various customer segments shortly, but first we will look at a few more definitions. The total available market is the population that may be interested in the product, service, or concept that you are offering. The total available market could consist of consumers, businesses, or other organizations, such as schools, associations, and NGOs. Your venture is going to want to consider characteristics of the total available market, such as the size, how big the overall relevant population is, and general characteristics such as demographics and social characteristics. The total addressable market is the specific group of customers and users that you will specifically reach with your venture. There are two different methods of describing your market size: the top-down approach and the bottom-up approach. The top-down approach is when you look at the size of the entire target market and say what share of the market you will get. For example, if the market is worth $100 million, you would say that we will get 1% of the market share. A more meaningful and realistic approach is called the bottom-up or addressable market approach. This is a fact-based estimate of the actual number and dollar value of customers. And it poses the question, of the potential users and customers, how many can I realistically expect to get? Let's take a closer look at how one might apply the top-down and bottom-up approaches. A problem that large populations in many developing countries face is a lack of access to clean and safe drinking water. You developed a venture that creates cheap water filtration systems, and now you're trying to describe the market you will be able to reach with your product. The top-down approach would work in the following way. Let's say your company is targeting a specific developing country. There are 20 million people in that country, and 10 million people have access to water, but it's not clean or safe for them to drink. Therefore, you believe you could reach 1% of those 10 million people with your product. This is a very broad and big picture assumption of your available market. On the other hand, the bottom-up approach might work in the following way. We are going to be setting up our venture in 3 cities in the developing country. Our research shows that there are families in these cities that need the water filtration systems, and we predict we would be able to produce and sell 100 filtration systems per week across the 3 cities. This means that we would be reaching 100 families per week and approximately 5,200 families per year with our product. The bottom-up approach is a fact-based estimate, and it is much more useful than only using the top-down approach. It is important to look at what your venture is actually capable of before looking at the impact you could have on the entire market. Having a top-down approach can be useful, but only if you already have a bottom-up approach in place. The mass market is when you focus on one large group of customers with similar needs and problems. This type of market is often found in the consumer electronics sector. For example, Blockbuster caters their business to a very large group of people. All the customers are different, but they all want to be able to watch movies in their own homes. The niche market is a specialized group of customers. Consider a car part manufacturer. They are focusing their product and value proposition on a small subgroup of consumers, automobile manufacturers. The segmented market distinguishes between customers with slightly different needs. Banks provide services to the very wealthy and the not quite as wealthy. Each group of individuals is different, but they both have similar needs and problems. An organization with a diversified customer segment serves 2 unrelated groups of people. Amazon is a great example. Beside being an online retailer, Amazon sells cloud computing, or online storage space, to web companies. Both groups are consumers, but they are completely unrelated. The last type of customer segment is called a multi-sided platform, where 2 or more customer segments are interdependent. Credit card companies are organizations with a multi-sided platform. Credit card companies serve credit card holders as well as a large base of merchants who accept those credit cards. The credit card holders and merchants rely on each other and therefore are interdependent. When designing a product, it's always important to keep in mind who you are designing your product for and under what conditions they will most likely use the product. All of these conditions will influence how you develop and market your product. One of the conditions for a product or service to be used by a buyer or consumer is that it has to create or add value for the buyer. Your value proposition is your statement of what value you are bringing to your customer. Your value proposition helps answer questions such as, which one of your customers' problems are you helping to solve? Which one of your customers' needs are being addressed? And what value are you delivering to your customers? Design is another element that adds value to a product or service. Consider Apple products. They are largely purchased because of their unique design. Reducing costs is another way to add value. The picture above shows a cheaper water filtration system as an alternative to many Western technologies. There are many additional elements that contribute to customer value creation. Value propositions are the reason a customer chooses one company over another. In this regard, value propositions are extremely important to consider when developing a business model. Having defined customer segments and value propositions, let's now take a closer look at a concrete example of these concepts. In the next couple minutes, we will attempt to answer the following questions. What is Kiva? Who are Kiva's customers? And what value does Kiva deliver to their customers? Kiva is an organization that allows wealthy individuals around the world to lend money to aspiring small business owners in developing countries. For example,
Through Kiva, an individual in the United States can donate a small amount of money sent through the internet to microfinance institutions, to small business owners and students in developing countries. Kiva's users can help empower poor entrepreneurs across the globe.
Kiva serves two different groups of people: wealthy Westerners and the poor entrepreneurs in developing countries. So what value does Kiva bring to each of these individuals? Kiva allows wealthy Westerners to both do good and feel good by helping them lend money to the underserved in developing countries. Kiva gives poor entrepreneurs access to loans, which allows them to start businesses so they can help bring themselves out of poverty. Business models for products and services require well-thought-out value propositions. Value propositions attract customers, and customers are essential, for without them, there is no venture.